Hello everyone and welcome to our new episode of the Expat Career and Lifestyle podcast. This is Dominika, your host, and our special guest today is Joanna Pilatowicz, dancer, teacher, author, coach from Poland and currently living in Germany. And today with Joanna we are going to speak about her life as an artist abroad and about her new book, The Oracle. Welcome Joanna, happy to have you here. How are you?
Hi, Dominika. How are you doing? Hi, everyone.
Tell us more about yourself and what are you doing?
Okay, yeah. So first of all, I was waiting till you finished talking, of course. Thank you for inviting me to your podcast. You pretty much introduced me very well. I'm doing all that you mentioned. I'm a dancer, dance teacher, recording artist, writer. My book recently is coming out with a small press from Maine, from United States. And I'm also a coach. So that's the topic for our podcast today too.
Yeah, great. So you have a quite international experience, international journey. So what prompted you to start your life abroad, to start your international life?
Mm-hmm. You could say so, because I always was drawn to travel, first of all. And there are two reasons. First of all, I always felt like I want to search for something more, like there is more than just reality in Poland, and for some reason that was something unexplainable. So I felt more like I was choking in Poland, and anytime I was traveling, that was very unreasonable feeling. I was feeling freedom. So I started to search for that freedom and how it is in different countries. Through United States, Switzerland, I gravitated to the Netherlands. So that was my main reason, of course. And the second, it's very mundane, like everybody else. I wanted to better life, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you lived in Netherlands, and now currently you are living
in Germany.
In Germany, yeah. So I know that you have multiple passions. So you are a dancer, you are a coach, painter, teacher, author. So you are doing a lot of things. So how do you combine those passions of yours?
Very good question. Yeah, I forgot to mention that these are my art, part of my art, of course, and I'm painting abstracts. And this came to me, of course, quite spontaneous, like everything else. So I wasn't planning to be an artist. I was planning to get a normal job, have a normal stable income, work in a corporation, and that never happened. Mm-hmm. So what happened was this pulling, it's an inner strong feeling, like you are pulled to something on the way. So if the writing is happening to you, you start to write. If this is painting, it's like an inner call, then you start to paint. And I couldn't really avoid that. So the way I'm combining it, because of course, even if you do art, a lot of people will tell you, okay, if you do so many things, then you don't do anything good. It's obvious. Mm-hmm. But it's not possible to do everything in the same time. I would say it's more like phases. So when I'm working on the book, I'm totally doing that, and that takes very, very long time. But to balance that, I also need to dance. So I'm teaching. I'm also creating choreography. Another time when one project is accomplished, then I move on to the next. So I do another performance or art exhibition, music project, whatever is coming along. It's not really I'm planning that. It's more what's happening. So you are following what's there, what wants to happen, kind of like process psychology would say, what wants to happen now.
Mm-hmm. So you are like following your own, let's say, or intuition, or like your own wisdom.
I'm doing my best. I'm still working on it, but yes, most of the things are coming when I'm in the state of meditation, or I'm inspired, maybe a movie, maybe some sort, when my mind is reaching for something else, when I have those moments for myself and I can hear myself.
Mm-hmm. And you focus like on one project and then you move to another.
Okay.
Or you work
It's not
like
always
on...
possible,
Mm-hmm.
because if you start one project and let's say it's going to take you 3 years to accomplish that, then obviously you're not going to wait that 3 years. You're still going to teach. You're still going to have maybe clients for coaching. You still do other things, and there are moments when you just want to paint. But it's more spontaneous process. But of course, if you have a deadline, you concentrate on this one thing. And there are periods when I'm just painting for months and just doing that, nothing else. And then that part is over. So I move on to the next phase.
Mm-hmm. Great. So tell us more about your life as an artist abroad. So what was your biggest challenge, or maybe it is still a challenge for you, and what did you do, or what are you doing to overcome it?
Yeah, so challenges are happening all the time. I think I would lie if I would say that, oh, I had all those challenges, now I dealt with them, they are over. I think we are evolving more like in the cycles. So the certain things, our biggest maybe life lessons, or whatever our soul wants to experience, if somebody believes in soul, it repeats on a certain levels, maybe differently, maybe we accomplish something or understood something, so we have a better capacity to deal with that. My main focus always, it was a materialistic part, of course, and I wanted to just, get this job and be successful, maybe in international coaching in The Hague, where I was living. And I try to push that artistic part aside, because I thought, okay, that's too big challenge. I cannot just go on like that. Mm-hmm. But when you have this inner call and you stop resisting it, then you start to follow your inner self more, and you're finding the way how to deal with that. So there is a lot of challenges for artists. You have to deal with this not stable life. You don't have a stable income, for example. You have to be very disciplined. But if this is something and only thing you can do, and you kind of, I always say, you have to be obsessive about something in order to do it well. So if this is the only thing you can do, then that is your call. Then you have to do that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, coming back to the question you were asking about the challenges, I think most of the challenges that are mine and those people I also met with are the stability of income, how to make the life in the environment that it's not yours, how to find yourself there. So the language was also a problem. And I think that when I was in the Netherlands, I learned better English than in Poland, because everybody spoke really great English there. And if you can settle yourself quite well in an environment, then of course, depending what kind of personality you have, who you are you extrovert or introvert, then those challenges are arising. They are emotional also. They are what kind of skills you have, how you communicate with other people, can you go out to do networking. So all of that, I think any kinds of challenges that can happen, it happened to me, emotional also, health, psychological, on every possible level.
Mm-hmm. And so what can you advise? Yes. To overcome those challenges, because it is about following your own calling, but sometimes it can be difficult, because you can have a lot of resistance in yourself to follow your true calling, or even adapting to a new country. So what will be your one piece of advice for someone to overcome those challenges?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I would have a problem to give one piece of advice for everybody, because there is no recipe that can work for everyone, of course, because even what is a remedy in one moment can be a poison in another moment. So if I tell somebody, okay, you have health problems or emotional, but you have to go out there to a meeting because you have to push through, that may work for one person, and for another maybe a total failure and something that will be traumatic. So it depends on the personality, but I would say this one tip is to always doing the best to follow yourself, what you are able to do, capable of doing at this moment, and try to push yourself just a little bit more. That I would say. So maybe it's not easy for people to follow those inner voice, because this is what it's usually hardly heard in the noise of the society. I had to deal with a lot of beliefs that were harmful to me, for example. So I had to listen to my voice that wasn't positive, but it was a lot of content that was actually not allowing me to function in the society, because it was a lot of criticism. It was a lot of beliefs from the society, how life's supposed to look like. But then you have to question all of that, and you have to start building slowly your own definitions, where you're going, who you want to be, and is it acceptable for you, and how you're going to deal with that criticism, because that's always going to come.
Right, so let's speak now a little bit about your new book, The Oracle. So in this book you are sharing your own experience of a Polish girl moving from Poland to the Netherlands. So tell us more, and why did you decide to write this book?
Okay, there are a few things. First of all, this book is inspired by my experience in the Netherlands and traveling, and also those around me that I met. And of course, I changed everything. So after all, I'm not going to say what is fiction, what is real. I put everything in the work of fiction, of course. When I started to write that book years ago, I wanted to have a clarification of my own self. It was my inner need to have clarity about my life. That's how I started, and I wanted to make something useful, something beautiful from what life is presenting to me. And I would advise probably everybody to try to do that when they can. So this is how I started, and this book is also touching on the philosophical aspects of the life, psychological and also paranormal. So it's talking about unknown that I cannot prove. Probably other people also cannot prove, because it's touching on telepathy. Some of the people believe in reincarnation, power of bad eye, or curses, or some sort of magic, or other species maybe living on Earth or visiting. So I'm touching slightly on everything, and questioning some of our beliefs also in the society.
So
I probably should shortly say about what is the book about. So it is about a young artist who leaves to the Netherlands, trying to leave abroad to have a better life. But what's happening, she starts to have a series of dreams where her alter ego, or someone named Sarah, appears, and she claims that she is her incarnation from the past, from the ancient Egypt. And she is trying to free Jasmine and herself from the curse that is affecting, of course, Jasmine's life and as well her past. And this is how it's starting.
Yeah, so there is like communication between like two different worlds. So not only Jasmine is like an expat or a migrant artist moving to Netherlands, but also she's communicating with different world through her dreams. So
yes, there is a portal through the dreams to a different dimension, and it's portrayed at the very beginning of the first book very slightly, because we do have dreams, all of us, and the problem is most of the time we don't remember them.
Mm-hmm.
So whether we think we don't dream at all, or it's very blurry. And I believe personally that we do have some sort of information that we can read from dreams if we know how, if we have a connection. And those dreams are not always so obvious. They are obvious in more obvious in the oracle stories, because there is a plot. But I'm afraid in life it's not so. And even in that book, I try to make it as realistic as possible how that could happen. So Jasmine, most of the time, she doesn't remember those dreams anyway. So like every human being, she suffers from a little amnesia that happens to every one of us. So we learn something, we know we have this profound experience. We dreamt about something great. Now we know what all the universe is about, and then we forget.
Mm-hmm.
And then we start all over again, of course, until we make notes and maybe that experience sits with us strong enough so we make a different choices.
Mm. Great. So this book is your first book in English, or?
Yes.
Yeah. So how was it for you, like expressing yourself in English, writing in English, because you are communicating, you are working with internationals, and you are living in Germany, so probably you communicate in German and in English too. So
in German too, yes.
But how was it for you to write in English, to express yourself?
So I'm writing a series of articles in English, and the most challenging part, it was translation, because portions of that text I rewritten in English language, because obviously I would express myself a little bit differently in another language. And parts I also translate exactly as it was, line by line. So translation is worse than writing in English, for sure. But I always like to master English language. I'm sort of fascinated by that language.
Mm-hmm.
It always spoke to me. It's more natural to me than other languages like German or other languages I never learned. A little bit of Russian, but I would love to learn Italian, Spanish. And for some reason, I don't have this easiness for languages. So that could be also a challenge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's strange, because you are doing like a lot of things. So it seems that everything like come easily to you. So like learning language.
I love to hear that, because it's maybe how it's supposed to be portrayed, but there's nothing easy about it. But if you have a passion about something, then yes, you run more on inspiration, so you can go on longer. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, like, how do you find inspiration for your projects, for writing, for painting, and even like for dancing? How do you find it? Is this something like from your own personal life, like with this new book, The Oracle, or what do you do? How do you inspire yourself?
Okay. So I don't know, because I wish that our conversation will be helpful also for people who will listen to that. And I know that a lot of people are seeking for inspiration, and sometimes it just doesn't come. And when I was living in Poland, I was always anxious about, oh my God, how I'm going to create that choreography, what's going to happen, how I'm going to do all of that. And it was hard, and this inspiration wasn't happening. I tried, and it was a struggle. These days, it switched. So inspiration finds me.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds great, and I love that way, I must admit, because it's like I don't have time to put that, what it's coming, like processing through my brain, so I can type it down. So this is how that books were happening. It was like dictated to me. The only thing I had to do is just type. And the portion of information that were coming was so fast that, thanks God, I did the typing course previously in Poland, so I can type very fast. With other things, it's the same way. It's more like inner attitude. So I'm opening for a certain thing, like what would like to be painted, you know, or I would like to paint that symbol that represents this and this. And if something appears in my mind, I'm following that. The same thing is with choreographies, with music, that it's inspiring. So there's always some sort of impulse first. And if I would advise somebody who seeks inspiration, there is always to ask the question and wait, don't do anything. And then you see what's going to happen.
Yeah, because sometimes it can be like difficult, not like only for an artist, but also I think even like for a coach who is like working on a new program or a new project and is looking for new ideas. So I like this suggestion of yours, like ask yourself a question and then wait, because sometimes we can put so much pressure on ourselves that we want to achieve something or write the book by this deadline or create a new project, and we are acting like from urgency. But
yes, and it doesn't go. Actually, I have to say something, that I am a person that is acting from that also, because it's part of my personality, it's part of who I am, and I had to accept that about myself. I am very fast, and I make a lot of probably mistakes along the way, but when I'm in the creative process, you kind of have to make notes about everything to make sure you can edit that later. So I have this aspect of urgency, and there is a way to work with that. There is a way to fulfill the tasks that you think they are necessary anyhow, with no judgment. Anyhow, it's like, okay, do this. Okay, write this program, or for the coaching, just write it anyhow, and then leave it for a while. And if you do leave it, you turn away from it, I'm sure the new impressions will start to come to your mind. Also, on the coaching, it's very challenging because you kind of have to react when you have a client. If something doesn't work for your client, then you're thinking, okay, what am I going to do now? I tried this and that, and nothing worked. Right? So there is also a way, process-oriented psychology teaches that you follow what the client is presenting to you. So you follow the feeling of that person. You're trying to maybe switch the roles. You becoming the client for the client to be a mirror. There are plenty of techniques how you can do that, or just follow the movement of that particular person and have fun for a second, because from that moment something else may emerge. Are you following me? Am I making sense here?
No, I'm following. It makes sense to like to leave a little bit of space and time, like to process. And also like when working with coaching clients, you can try different techniques to achieve the result that the client is looking for. So let's come back to your book and your experience as an author. So, like, what can you advise to someone, like to aspiring author who is thinking about writing a book and also publishing a book, because it can be challenging, to publish a book. So, what will be your advice for that?
Okay, I'm smiling because it's such a wild subject here. First of all, my experience, it's only my experience. So of course, my road doesn't have to be somebody else, and people can have a better way. Although there are some things you have to be careful about on the way, and they are helpful if you know about them. So first of all, it took me a really long time to find a publisher, but I was a little bit laughing about it because it seems I found faster publisher in America than in Poland. So that's why I translated those books, of course. If the first thing, it's not only about writing, but about everything. If writing is not your thing, if this is not something you do naturally every day, obsessively almost, like if you don't have this feeling that you have to take something out, release, express in this particular form, then I would strongly suggest, please don't do it. You're going to struggle. So it is about everything in what we do in life. This is not you. If it's just have idea like, oh, it would be great to, I don't know, make a movie or write a song. If this is not what is within you, if it doesn't resonate with you, you're just going to struggle and you're going to fail, or you're not going to like it. So first of all, you have to be absolutely convinced that this is what you want to do and this is what you do naturally. That's the first one. Second one, if you do write and you cannot stop writing, try to edit your text and compress it, because you are probably going to be the one who's going to edit it with an editor and accept the changes. What that means, you have to read your book again and again. Unless you are signing up maybe a big contract, but even when you do that, you still need to, your word is the last word, so you still need to accept the changes. And as we know, the publisher, they don't take the whole text, they do a lot of changes, they maybe cut off some of the portions, so they may also change the outlook and message of your book.
Yeah.
So that would be the main thing.
Yeah. So there is like a lot about, I think like the most important step is like to commit. If you want to write, you have to be committed like 100% to
yes, but it has to come from you. You cannot force it. That's what I mean. If you I think this is why, New Year's resolution fail all the time. Because we think we have these profound ideas and we're gonna do them, and they don't work because it doesn't agree with us, with our inner self. You have to make sure that what you wanna do, it is something that your essence, not everybody believes in the soul, so I would say something untouchable, something essence of you really wants to do that. Because if there is a blockage there, if this is not for you, you're gonna sabotage yourself. So this commitment has to agree with you first. And of course, I think this is the I'm talking about it more because it's like the rest of the steps are so unique for everybody that they almost don't matter. I think this is the most important one, in my opinion, of course. Because because you gotta know. The question is how to find out, because anytime you probably have somebody for coaching, people have this idea, I want this and this and this. And then within the sessions, you discover that this is something else. It can happen. The people are evolving. They need to be flexible. Some of the obstacles are not allowing for them to achieve those goals that they came with. So everything has to be taken into account. And how to check that, it's the most important part within that first tip. Is it something you do every day? Is it something you naturally do and are drawn to do every day? Is it something you cannot live without? If you say yes, then you are, your chances are raising.
So
and the other one is,
No, go on. So there is like a lot about also commitment and passion. Like you have to be passionate about it.
Yes. I'm not sure about this word of commitment, because that gives this connotation that you have to commit and then do it no matter what. I think you have to be flexible on the way. You see, when I started to write books, I wanted to make a movie. And I said, okay, now I finally have my goal. I'm going to make a movie. And then the first thing I started to do, I thought I'm writing a script. And the book happened, you know? So something within me wanted to write these books. I don't know if I'm going to make a movie. I still want to do that. But it has to agree with me in a way, in this inner something within me. Otherwise, I won't be able to do that. I'm going to struggle. So one step leads to another. It's a commitment to yourself. I think the only commitment you got to do is to be truthful to yourself.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, like
yes.
yeah, being true to yourself.
Be specific.
Yeah. Great. So, so what are your projects for the future? What about the film, or do you have like different projects? And what about what about your books? Are you going to write like books in different languages, in German, for example?
No.
No.
Oh God, no. Absolutely not. So I first of all, after this series, the series has 9 books so far. After this, I commit to myself to never write. Well, of course, I cannot say like that because you never know. But I will make sure that I'm going to write only in English.
Okay.
Because translation takes a lot of time. You actually write double books. It's like I wrote 18 books within 2 years. So it's a lot. It takes a lot. It's a lot of hours. It's a lot of addition. My plans, it's also to follow what is going to happen to me now. I don't plan typical author meetings considering that book, because I personally think that can be a little bit boring. And I hope that people can somehow benefit from my experience, from what I wrote, and get inspired and make better decisions in their life. Not exactly as main character Jasmine, one of the main characters. She's not really a hero there. It's a little bit portrayed as an anti-hero because so many things happen to her and she has no clue how to deal with all that. So I would rather plan this series of workshops to help people, to help expats or immigrants on their own unique way and find their own way how to deal with things where life, sometimes through them. It's not all the time like we have the total control of our life, although it seems so. And it's all the time said, like you have to make sure you are in the control of your life. But there is a lot of things that happening we don't have a control. We only have a control over how we react toward what's happening in some cases, I think.
Yeah, I think, that we cannot like control everything in our life, and like every obstacle and our reactions to everything that happens in our life, like on the personal and also like professional level. Great, fantastic. So thank you very much for being with us today, sharing your experience, your knowledge and tips about living as an artist abroad, about publishing and writing. So where can we find more information about you and about the new book? And I also know that you have a free gift for our listeners. Yeah, I forgot about the free gift that you have.
Yes. So first of all, thank you for all the great questions, and it's always great to talk to you. We had a lot of conversations before, but we didn't meet for maybe a year online. So that is fantastic that we could finally meet, and the book made that for now. Kind of connected us again. The book is basically, it should be, that's what my publisher said to me. Definitely it's on Amazon in every country, Goodreads, and everything creates space. So I think it's going to be easily found online and accessible. The next thing is gifts, right? The gifts and how to connect with me. So I have a website. I'm also present on a lot of social media these days. My website is ifnotdance.com. Because of course I'm not doing only dance, so it's very simple. If not dance, then what?
Then what? Yeah.
Then everything else. Yeah. So you can reach me through that website, and any social media is connected to that website. So that's the easiest way. Free gifts. I have. I would like to offer a free coaching sessions for maybe 5 to 7 people that will be connect with me first, and we can work on any issues. So I'm not typically career coach. So to make that clear, of course, I'm working with currently what's happening. So if somebody has a goal but has enormous obstacles, so there are emotions, a belief system that is not really supporting that goal, or relationship struggle, then I am focusing on that, what is the most important in the current moment. So that would be my coaching. And then, of course, continue as whatever the goal was. Yeah, so that will be the free gifts. And as an author, the book will be on Amazon. I would welcome comments, letting me know if that is useful. So I can also, the feedback also helps me to find a way, if I'm portraying what I'm trying to portray, of course, right. If I can assist with people in a way with my book, with my message.
Great. Thank you very much for sharing your gifts, and I will put all the information about how to connect with you and the link to your website with the show notes, so people can go and learn more about you and book a coaching session with you, Joanna. So thank you very much again for being with us today.
The same from this side. Thank you for having me. Thank you very much.
Great, you're welcome. Thank you very much for listening or watching, if you are watching a video version of this podcast, and let us know what are your thoughts. If you like this episode, please share it with your friends and leave us a comment. And I will be back soon with another content. Thank you very much, and bye.
Bye-bye.